Hello! In this video I'm going to show you how to make a Portacath pillow. It will look like this one here. First, you're going to cut two 4 by 6 3/4 inch rectangles of fabric, like the two shown here. Now take the two pieces of fabric and put them together so that the right sides are facing each other on the inside and the wrong sides of the fabric are facing out. Now you're going to start sewing around the edges, but start 1/3 of the way on the top to leave room to turn it inside out. You will also be putting in the Velcro in this step, starting with the fuzzy part facing down. Try to center the Velcro and make sure it's level before you start sewing again. Here I like to reinforce where the Velcro is just to make sure it doesn't fall out. Now with the spiky side facing up, align the second piece of Velcro with the first one. Again, try to center the Velcro and make sure it's level before you start sewing again. I also reinforce this side where the Velcro is, just again to make sure that the Velcro doesn't fall out. Once you're at the top again, stop 1/3 of the way across to leave a hole so that you can turn it inside out. Now you can cut off the corners, being careful to leave the stitching alone so you can have sharper corners when you turn it inside out. Once that's done, you can start turning it inside out. Once I get halfway through, I like to pull the two pieces of Velcro out before I continue. Now you can use a pen or a pencil to push the edges and corners all the way out. Once everything's pushed out, it's time to sew around the edges once again. Make sure the edges of the fabric are tucked in before you begin sewing. You should again start sewing 1/3 of the way across the top to make sure that there is a hole to stuff. This time when you're sewing around the edges, you don't need to worry about the Velcro, so this process will be a lot quicker and easier. Once you get to the top, again, you're going to want to stop 1/3 of the way across so that you have a hole to stuff. Once you've sewn around the edges, you can now begin to stuff through the hole. It's important not to stuff the pillow too much because we want it to be comfortable on people's catheters. Once the pillow is stuffed enough, you're going to close the hole. Make sure to push the stuffing out of the way before you sew. You can go over it just once, but I like to go over it 3 times just to really enforce it and make sure that nothing pulls apart. Once that's done, it's time to clean it up and cut off any extra thread. Once everything's all cleaned up, congrats! You made a Portacath pillow! This is what it looks like when it's on the seatbelt, and as you can see, the Velcro just wraps around, and there you go. I hope this helped.